Hey there lovelies and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title of today's video, we're going to be reacting to Persona by RM, which I honestly cannot wait to get into. You guys already know how much I have been loving hearing more of BTS's music and also discovering more of their solo music. So I'm super excited to get into this one because RM is just phenomenal. But before we do, if you guys are new to the channel, then welcome and thank you for joining. Make sure you click on that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with what I post on this channel. And while you're at it, why not leave a little like on this video as well? It really does help me to see what you're enjoying watching so I can keep on making more videos like this. But with all that being said, I just can't wait to get into this one, so let's go. Ooh. Alright. Ooh, hold up. Ooh, hold up. Wow, okay, hang on a second. I feel like straight away, obviously the song being called Persona, it's almost like how you view yourself, what you think of yourself, who you are, you know, and I think this song probably is just sort of embodying all of that, like trying to almost come to an understanding of who am I? Like beneath the surface of everything, who actually am I when you peel back all of these layers, you know? And I think for somebody like RM as well, obviously, who had this dream, had this passion, and who followed that dream into the life that he leads now, I can only imagine how difficult it must be sometimes to really differentiate who you are in terms of who you are for the public eye, because you are obviously an idol in people's eyes, and also who you are at the surface of everything within yourself. And I think sometimes those two worlds can definitely get blurred, can't they? But I think this song was released quite a few years ago now, but even so, I think even just at the beginning of their journey, you know, for BTS debuting, it must have been so difficult to really come to terms with the fact of, as you begin this path and this journey of this dream that you have, whilst it can be such an amazing thing, it can also make you question yourself, not necessarily because of who you are, but sometimes people's perspectives of you outside looking in and constantly hearing all of those comments, you know, and people's expectations of you. And I think sometimes we can definitely be influenced in terms of how we act and who we are based on other people's opinions. So it's just like, this song, I think, is a great reflection on, outside of everything else, like, who am I? What is, you know, my persona at the root of everything? What sort of person am I? You know, beneath every layer that I've built up with this dream, who is almost like, who is RM, the K-pop idol, and who is, you know, Namjoon at the heart of everything? And I think that is a really, like, powerful thought, isn't it? Oh. Wow. So it's almost like you were hesitant to start this journey, but even so, you still push forward because it's what you've always dreamed of. But it's like, even now that you've started achieving the things you've always dreamed of, you're still hesitant, because almost like sometimes it feels like you don't really know how to connect with yourself because you have so many things that are expected of you that it's like sometimes it's difficult to take the weight off your shoulders and really just stay true to yourself within everything, because there is all of this expectation from the outside. And I think obviously as well, this lyric here, have you already forgotten why you even started this? Like, obviously they started this whole journey because it was their dream, you know, it was their passion, it's what they really strived to achieve. But I think also, especially with how fast-paced the K-pop world moves, it's understandable that after some time you're going to start almost losing a little bit of momentum, because it does get tiring, it does get a little bit draining sometimes, you know, constantly having to be ahead of the game and constantly having to listen to people's comments and listen to what people want from you and have all of these pressures probably put on your shoulders from deadlines and, you know, having to meet certain criterias. It's like, almost in a sense, you're living this life and this dream that you've always wanted, but sometimes it's almost in a way of living it for somebody else because it's what everybody else wants, what everybody else expects. And it is just like him saying, I always wanted to be this superhero, and now I'm almost becoming a superhero in a sense for the people who listen to my music, who find relief and who find strength and power from the lyrics that I write. But it's also in return, sometimes, like, even though it's such a beautiful gift for people to be able to hear my music, sometimes in return, it leaves me questioning myself. It leaves me questioning why I started this and do I want to continue on with this? And, you end up questioning all of your intentions because you're almost at a crossroads as to where to go, Oh, obviously I already knew this song was getting deep, but just hearing him say, like, almost like I feel like I don't deserve all of this. I don't deserve to be, labeled this muse to people who listen to me, who follow in my footsteps, and who see me as a role model. I don't deserve to be able to, produce all of this music. Almost like you doubt yourself. You have this self doubt within yourself that just constantly is eating you up, and you don't really know how to let go of that in a way. That is so strong of a message, but also just so sad, isn't it? Just hearing, like, at the root of everything, even somebody who is incredibly talented and who is so, humble and such a beautiful person and so kind hearted, can still have these feelings of self consciousness, still have these feelings of self doubt, question their self worth. And I think it just even more so highlights that sense of humanity within RM, just that feeling of connection between him and the fans, in showing, like, I am relaying all of my emotions and how I feel in this song because I want you to know that everything that you go through, all of the emotions you feel, are valid because I feel them too. Sometimes I question myself. I question, what it means for me to be here, what it means for me to create this music, and why people choose to listen to me, but they don't choose to listen to maybe somebody else. And it's like all of these questions and just wondering, like, why was I fated in this way? It really is just almost so introspective, isn't it? In just having all of this feeling and emotion really coming through in this song. But I think at the heart of everything, him just saying, like, I've got these flaws. I've got things that make me sometimes imperfect in maybe other people's eyes, but that's just the true me. Like, I am behind the scenes, behind the the image of everything that people see. This is the true me. This is what I feel on a day-to-day basis. And I think it's just so vulnerable and honest, isn't it? 나 따위가 무슨 소명 나 따위가 무슨 뮤즈 내가 아는 나의 그 어쩜 그게 사실 내 전부 세상은 사실 아무 관심 없어 나의 서투 지실리지도 않은 후회들과 매일 밤 싱그럽게 뒤굴고 돌릴 길 없는 시간들이 습관처럼 비틀어도 그때마다 날 또 이렇게 세운 것 최초의 질문 내일은 폭샤 그 가장 앞에 왈 But so I'm asking once again yeah who the hell am I tell me all your names baby do you want it die or do you want it go do you want it fly wow tell me all your names, because obviously RM, he's known for so many different names, isn't he? Like Rap Monster, RM, Namjoon, like it's almost like depending on the situation and depending on the circumstance, you're almost having to put on this different persona, which is obviously what this song is titled, Persona. And it is just like, it must be so difficult in not only having to have one, set personality, one persona for yourself, one name, but having to have people know you as so many different things and have so many different responsibilities leading to that name, that people know you for, RM. People know you as this idol, people know you as this role model, people know you as this ambassador, people look to you for guidance. But it's like sometimes you have to understand that, like, outside of the limelight, when you're just behind the scenes and you dim all of the lights, he's just a person, he's just a human like me, like you, who just is going about their daily life, and it really does make you draw back and hold close to the fact of he's just a person, like he's just like you or me. It's just that because he's so talented and because he's so amazing, he has been able to, really create this wonderful career for himself, which is so inspiring. But it also can come with those difficulties. You know, it's a side of two coins. It can come with the beauties of that life, but also it can lead to maybe difficulties within, you know, your mental health, with in how you see yourself. And I think just hearing that within this song is so special because, like I always say, I think RM is one of those people for me who is always so true and always holds such good intent within his music. Whatever he creates, he really does just lay everything that he has on the table, like all his cards are on the table. And he's like, yes, I'm flawed. Yes, I have things that maybe I deal with, but ultimately they make me a stronger person, and I know that I can get through anything as long as I'm able to, you know, harness that through this music. I feel like that's almost like the light for him, isn't it? These lyrics are just so powerful. Me that I created. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. The RM that I created, you know, at times maybe I've been embarrassed of that name. Maybe I've been embarrassed of things that I've done, or maybe I've, you know, had moments where I've thought to myself, why did I do this? Why did I choose this? You know, I've always questioned myself. But ultimately, at this point in time now, I can look back on everything I've done and know that I don't have to be embarrassed, because this is just the journey that I was meant to be on. This is where life led me, and this is what I was meant to do. Ultimately, this is my fate, you know, this is the map of my soul. That lyric, oh my gosh, this is the map of my soul. It's ingrained into me. This is the life that I was chosen for, you know, in a sense, and this is the person that I'm almost meant to be. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean that I am just one person who has this one set of responsibilities that people look to me for. You know, I'm RM. I'm multi-dimensional. I have all of these different names that people know me by. I have all of these different expectations of me. But that's what makes me unique and special in my own self. Like, I'm one of a kind in that way. And it's almost like throughout this song, even though it's so sad and so heartbreaking in certain instances, and hearing him question, you know, even just that sense of like existence, I think it's also so hopeful, and it has a lot of faith in it, in saying like, I don't need to question who I am, because who I am as a person and who I am in this life is almost my destiny in a way. And I think that is a beautiful way of looking at it. You know, I think sometimes we can get a little bit blindsided by our flaws and by the things that maybe we don't necessarily see the best of in ourselves. But ultimately, whoever we are as people, and however we've shaped ourselves and created ourselves into people, we all have to live on this life in the way that destiny fated for us. He just is such an incredible artist, and like, his lyrics always genuinely make me step back and just take a moment to think, you know, and I think that's what's really special about him. Wow. It's just like, yeah, people are going to have expectations of me. People are going to think one way about me. People are always going to have, you know, this idea of who I am. But ultimately, as long as I know who I am and I love the version of me that I have set aside for myself, then that's all that really truly counts at the end of the day. I just love the way that he said, you know, almost RM as we know, like him as RM, you know, Rap Monster. That was almost like a creation based off of Namjoon, you know? I just love that he in this song is just like saying, I accept everything that I am and the person that I am, and everything that I've done up to now to be the person that I've shaped and molded, you know? It's just beautiful, isn't it? Oh. Wow. Amazing. Absolutely gorgeous. And again, just saying, I want to, be able to give you all the voices till I die. I want to just be almost like that shoulder for you when you cry. It ultimately is just like everything he does with this dream and this music that he creates. He just wants to be that person for people to look to, that guidance, that light for people to just show them that everything's going to be okay. Like, even if sometimes you question yourself and you question who you are the best version of you that you can be. And, you can find comfort in knowing through songs like this that almost RM feels the same way as sometimes we do. We're all just people. We're all just trying to navigate the difficulties of life and the difficulties of what it means to be human. And I think that is just such a gorgeous message in this song. I always know when it comes to RM that I'm absolutely going to love the songs that I hear, and I'm always going to love the lyrics, because RM is such an emotionally in-depth writer. I feel like he really does just hone in so much on those feelings, and I think that is what I always really appreciate about his music, is the fact that you can always just feel that love and emotion and just purity through every single song that he writes. And that is what really does set him aside, and I think is just so special about him. But truly, I absolutely love this song. I loved what it represented. I think he is just an absolutely phenomenal artist, and I'm loving hearing more of his music. So if you have any other recommendations, then please feel free to let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching along this video with me. If you did, like I said, make sure you're clicking that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with what I post on this channel. And while you're at it, why not leave a little like on this video as well? It really does help me to see what you're enjoying watching, so I can keep on making more videos like this. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.